Hello, welcome to Dear Love Talk, the part of the program where you can get all your questions on relationships answered right here. If you want to get in touch, you can use the email questions@lovetalkshow.tv or via our Facebook page. Let's go to our first question. It says, I was cheated on 4 different times by 4 different girlfriends who all went back to their previous boyfriends. I'm terribly scared that this will happen again when I go into my next relationship. Please help. Well, I think that's quite unusual, and I think I very much doubt that those identical experiences will happen again. And I think the most important thing, we could talk a little bit about, look at your selection process. I don't know if you've been maybe going for a relationship with someone who hasn't really resolved their issues with a previous relationship. And if you see that the person still has something that they are thinking about in their previous relationship, maybe you're going back, then maybe it's a cue for you to step back a little bit. But I think the most important thing here is that you cannot paint everyone with the same brush. The fact that you've had 4 bad experiences does not mean that you'll have a 5th. It does not mean that that will be the case with every relationship you have. So learn to separate these past relationships and bad experiences you've had from your future. Just be careful with, again, your selection process, if you can, if it's something you can do something about, and understand that you put this to bed and don't think that history will repeat itself in the future, okay?
Well, what I wanted to say is this, listening to what my husband just said, just to add quickly, I think that you need to sit down, get a pen and a paper, and be very honest with yourself and write things down. Why did the first relationship didn't work? Okay, this and that happened. Okay, but why? How did I pick this person to be my girlfriend? And then you go on to the second and the third and the fourth, because you will notice that there will be a pattern. There will be something there that you keep doing. Although it's not your fault that the person treated you the way they treated you. There's never an excuse for that behavior. But there is something, I am sure, that you can do to avoid this in the future. And you have power over this.
But what's interesting is that, for example, these weren't just 4 broken relationships. These were 4 broken relationships where the women went back to their previous partners, cheated on him with previous partners and went back to them. And that just shows that they started this relationship in the first place without that situation resolved.
Yeah, there's a pattern.
And I think that's why you need to see that maybe if you go into a relationship and you see that the person still has unresolved issues with whoever they were with before, that's a red flag for you to say, actually, maybe I should not be in a relationship with this person just yet.
Or maybe, and I know we ran out of time, but very quickly, I know that maybe you went into this relationship because the person was a bit vulnerable, very easy to get. Not saying that you are not a good person, but maybe too vulnerable and it was very easy for the person to surrender to you, okay? This is not good because the issue was never resolved, like my husband just said, and you are bound to make the same mistake. So maybe this is something you do, I don't know.
Find a pattern and deal with it, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Next question.
Next question, it's from someone who attends the Love Talk Live seminars, and it says, I have been in and out of a relationship with the same man. We have broken up and gotten back together at least 3 times. Each time is always because he is unfaithful to me. I fear that if he comes back and begs me to take him back, I won't be strong enough to say no. Right. This is very messy, okay? And every time you accept this young man or older man, I don't know, this man back, you are making yourself smaller and smaller and smaller. And you are encouraging him to disrespect you and a bit more. Okay? So that shows me, that is showing me that you have a problem with self-esteem, with self-love, whatever you want to call it. The problem is in you. Okay, he's a bad person because he cheats on you, he has no respect, but you've got to have your self-love is not strong enough, because when someone cheats on you, you've got to put things on hold there and reevaluate things. And hold on, excuse me, what did just happen? Why did you, unless you said, okay, we can cheat on each other, that's fine, I don't mind, which I doubt it. But if this happened to you, you've got to pause and reevaluate and know.
And the interesting thing is that she said she doesn't feel strong enough to say no if he comes back. So you already know that you have to say no to him. You know that, you just don't have that strength.
Yeah, she knows it's a toxic relationship.
Yeah, but that shows you, if you know that you need to say no to this person, but you can't do it, that shows you that perhaps right now you cannot be in a relationship. Not with him and not with someone else. And I'll tell you why. Because a person who goes into a relationship, they have to be strong, period, as a person. Not strong in the sense to say no or to behave a certain way, but strong enough to have your own identity and to stand for what you think is right. If you cannot stand for your own ideals, you cannot stand up for what you think a relationship should be like, then whoever you're going to be with will take you along for a ride and will take advantage of you. So I think right now, it's not wise that you are with him or with anyone else until you deal with that inner issue. Deal with that, and then you can move on with someone who's going to value you as a person.
I mean, you are allowing him to leave very deep marks on you. Okay, this is a case. This is a case of you having to see a specialist later on because you are so confused and your self-esteem is so low, and this will make you have other problems in your life. So you are actually allowing him to abuse you. I don't think I can call this abuse because when you allow it, I mean, it's very complicated.
But it's a case of you working in yourself. If you value yourself, you will never allow anyone to devalue you.
Exactly.
Okay? That's very important to remember. If you want to get in touch with sending us your questions for us to answer here on the program, remember you can talk to us via our email, questions@lovetalkshow.tv, or via our Facebook page. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.